17 weeks of me chatting to other people about what makes up the dots of their life. And this week we get to chat to a guy that for the majority of his working life has to ask for his job every 3 or 4 years. And he's about to ask for his job again. So it's, you see what I mean? Let's go talk to a state MP.
This is Chris. So let's start at the beginning and talk about how you got here. Because where did you go to school?
Well, normal one to the local high school at Mackay, then a year at Indooroopilly, and then on to university. The classic kind of pathway forward for many young Queenslanders.
What did you do at university?
Now, university was interesting. People assume I would have been involved in student politics and this and that, but I studied history, Australian history, loved it. It was so exhilarating for me and discovering the true story of Australia. We grew up in high school. We drew lines on the map where explorers went. What I learned at university was this is a real history of Queensland. Raymond Evans, Kay Saunders, exclusion, exploitation and extermination, a history of race relations in Queensland. Eye-opening stuff. I had no idea. And I still follow that path of our true history. But that was one thing I did at university. The other part, I was involved in the drama societies.
Right.
Wasn't involved with student politics. I had a ball doing drama at university, met so many people, had such a great time. And that was my experience of university. I did a little bit of study too, had a few false starts there because like many people, like people at the time, "Oh, what am I going to do? You know, I don't know about this and that, don't know why I'm doing this." So a couple of false starts at uni, but once I got into my groove and focusing on studying Australian history, everything went really well.
Yeah, wow.
From then, I ended up doing an honours degree in history.
Right. Back then or more recently?
When I went back a few years after I graduated, and that was, I did my thesis on the dynamics of sexual morality in Brisbane in World War One, the effect of World War One on social morality
Right.
in Australia, but Brisbane specifically, because it's a case of where you go from Edwardian times through to the roaring 20s, you know, and obviously World War One affected people's personal morality, especially sexual morality, and examining what went on there a little bit there. So that was people were very interested in my thesis, put it that way.
Yeah, wow. Up until this very moment, I absolutely thought you did some type of politics at university.
I did do some politics there, but it was all about history. Always interested in politics. That was always going on. But you know, at that age, there's so many things you're interested in.
So from there, where did you go?
Well, after uni, I worked at Griffith University at Student Services, helping out students get jobs. And from then I got active in my union. I became a union delegate or a workplace delegate, then a delegate to the conference, and then a member of the union executive. And then I moved on full time with the union there. So that was quite a few years of doing, well, volunteer work, being a workplace delegate. And then the time came where I'd done some writing for Rave magazine, interviewing musicians, reviewing bands, reviewing CDs. And that work got me on to be the first media and communications officer for my union. I managed to parlay that experience of interviewing musicians like Nick Cave, Ed Coop into, wow, this guy should be the communications person for the union.
Right.
And so that was the way things happened in the 90s anyways.
Yep.
I don't know if you could do that now, but that's the way it happened for me. So then I ended up working for a few years as a union official. And that was that's a tough gig. Probably the hardest job I've ever done.
Okay.
Is working for a union. You've got so many things happening. There's no right or wrong. There's so much drama going on, but you've just got to keep being the best person you can to your members. And from then, I actually got a short job working in a minister's office doing media and communications. That was the days of fax. I was a junior media person, so I had to write up all these media releases for all the newspapers in Queensland and then fax them out.
Yeah,
Sit at the
wow.
fax, bang, bang, bang. Obviously, you'd not do that these days there, but that's what I did. And from there, went on to join the local council in Burgett, in Deception Bay. I would talk to him. Wow, the council should do this, should do that. Why don't we do this? And he said to me, well, since you know so much, why don't you run for council? All right, I will. And you got to help me. And he did. And to my surprise, I got elected by a great majority. And that was quite once again, an eye-opening experience, as you would, well, no, I'm going to go into something new. Oh, I got it. Gee, I have to be serious about this now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
And so
that's
how many
so that's a
terms did
pathway.
you do at council?
I did 3 terms. They're always 4-year terms. So I was lucky to do 12 years on council, 8 on Caboolture Shire Council and 4 on Moreton Bay Regional Council.
Okay. Of course, that's where I came to, first met you because my mother and yourself were on council at the same time there for a while.
Absolutely.
Not the first term, was it? Were you?
No, that was those
Or was
first
it
2 terms from
first 2 terms?
2000 to
Okay.
2008. Joy was a marvelous mayor. She did such a good job. Very good networker, really good at building relationships, which is what every mayor in Queensland needs to do.
And then you were on council and you decided you wanted to try something different.
I did. I thought after 12 years on council, I could see myself becoming institutionalized. I knew that my skill set had basically atrophied, and I wanted to see changes, wanted to be a part of changes. So I ran for mayor.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't to be. I came second, the silver medal. I think I did all right. I look back now and I thought I should have done this and I should have done that, but I did the best I could at the time and I gave it a go. I was like the Rachel Gunn. I gave it a go.
Yeah, good stuff. And then from there, obviously, a position opened up in state.
The great change of 2012 that one of my predecessors, Dean Wells, had lost his seat. Well, nearly everyone on our side of politics lost their seat. And after I thought, well, this is a chance in 2015 to run for that. In the meantime, I worked in real estate.
Mhm.
One of the best things I've ever done. As you well know, you learn so much about that. I think I learned as much in 1.5 years as a real estate agent as I did in 12 years as a counsellor.
Yep.
And it was really good to get my skills back up to the level that they should have been. And this is one thing I keep saying to counsellors: make sure you keep training yourself while you're as a counsellor. You keep studying. You get new skills. You've just got to do that because you could have easily sit there for 20 years, and at the end of the day, you haven't changed in 20 years, and everything else has moved on.
Something you've done, I believe you've gone back to uni and
Yes.
studied some more.
Yeah, I did. I went and got a Master of Journalism,
Mhm.
and then I've got a grad dip of property, which I both really enjoyed. The most recent one, the grad dip of property, which I was absolutely fabulous. I loved. For the first time, it's getting into spreadsheets and formulas, and seeing the magic that you can create with that is absolutely wonderful. And getting stuck into it's into the figures, into the sums, how the magic formulas that are behind it all there. I loved it. It's a geek thing, but I thought it was great anyway. And it's one of those things you think, I can use this now, but where we go in years to come. I like to think I've got a lot more years to come in, as you and I do. I'm going to be around a long time, we think, aren't we? Yeah, we are. We're going to be really healthy. We're going to do this and that. So a touch wood, let's hope that happens. And we'll just keep being prepared for the next thing.
So how many terms have you been in state for now?
Okay, so 2015, that's 1, 2017, 2020, so that's 3, coming up for that 4th election.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so in less than, I guess, what are we down to? Like 80 days away or something like that?
Yeah, less than 10 weeks now.
Okay.
So it's and every election is different. Every election is very different. This one is probably more different to all the others. Mind you, we said that in 2020 as well. We hadn't been through a COVID election like that. And I haven't really, you learn new things all the time. But I think I'm going to learn a lot from this one because it's not quite like any other election I've been a part of.
You're a member of parliament, member of state parliament. Do you have any other roles?
I'm lucky that I'm a chair of one of the parliamentary committees. Queensland's quite unique, as you know, it doesn't have an upper house, which I'm quite thankful for. So we've got a number of standing committees of government and opposition and crossbench members. And these committees examine the bills. So they do the function that an upper house would do, then report to the parliament. You make recommendations. Yes, a bill be passed. Here's some amendments you might want to do. Government, please have a look at this. We think that's an issue. So my great honour is that I chair one of the committees. It's now called the Housing Big Build and Manufacturing Committee. So we look at any bills that come under, say, local government, planning, state development, water, racing, manufacturing, any bill that touches on those comes to us. And I love doing that. We get to run a committee process. We examine the bills and we get call witnesses up. What do you think about this? Tell us what you think. How can we improve it? What do you like? What you don't like? And then we meld that into a report and that goes to the parliament. It's very satisfying. It's great to be a part of something where you make a difference.
Yeah, awesome. Talking of making a difference, what do you think motivated you in the early days to run for council and be a representative?
I think there's a couple of different things. You've got to really want to make a difference. You see something that you think needs to be changed, and you say, "Well, I'm going to play a role in doing that." And there's always a bit of ego there. I'm the one who should run, and I know what I can do. I know that my abilities are suited to this. So there's always that bit of ego. But at the end of the day, if you're not someone who wants to make a difference, wants to change things, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I think that's the most important thing. You know that there's a better world out there. You know things can be improved, and you say, "Well, I really want to push that and be a part of that."
And you've spent the majority of your working life now doing that. Is that still the case now as you go forward towards, an election soon? Is it still the same reason you do it now as opposed to why you got into it?
Yeah, it is still is. You see, there's so many things that you think want to be changed and that you want to change or want to be a part of. I think in terms of how we deal with housing, for instance, is changing. All of a sudden, we're in a society where the society is saying we want the government to intervene in providing housing, and we've never really seen that before.
Hmm.
Government, do something about this, and I want to be a part of that. But at the same time, especially in recent times, uh, helping people individually, families individually, I get a lot of people coming through our office saying, I need help with this. I'm homeless. I've got a problem at my kid with school. I've, you know, I really need some help with getting this operation done. And that's something I think in the last few years I've really appreciated. And I really find it satisfying. And that drives me, helping people out. And that was always, you always did that, but it's now becoming more important. We live in times where there's a lot of cost of living pressures, a lot of pressures. People are reaching out for their government representatives to intervene and help them out. And I'm doing a lot more of that. And I'm finding that really satisfying.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about what you do?
The
What,
fact,
what, what brings you the most joy out of it?
I think things like this, talking to
Okay.
people. I've just spent the afternoon door knocking and people said, it's great to see you out. And I said, this is the best part of my job, going out and having a chat, hearing what people think, letting them talk about their life experience. And I think that is still the best part of the job, actually going out, talking to people face to face and listening to them, to their stories and having their conversation. You can't beat that.
Yeah. You have spent your entire time in state politics in government because you're a
Yes.
member of
Hmm.
what the party that's in government at the moment. Tell me about the party you're involved in and why you became a member of that party.
Okay, so I'm a member of the Labor Party. We've been fortunate to form government in the last 3 terms. I think certainly, I tell you, one of the things that drove me to this progressive side of politics, coming down from Mackay to Brisbane when I was 18, and there was a huge culture shock. For the first time, I was aware of class differentiation. All of a sudden, I was on the outer. I could see, this is Brisbane during the 80s. And I could see that there were different people with different privileges in different castes, really. And I was outside that. And that had a big effect on me, seeing that how society was constructed then. And I thought there must be a better way. I thought we can't keep on our society in this stratified way. The other part of that, I spent a year in Mexico as an exchange student, and I saw incredible poverty. I also saw incredible activism as well. For a country boy going to Brisbane and then soon after that spending 12 months in Mexico City, in the industrial north of Mexico City, that was an eye opener as well. And just became very clear that there are some things that you can accept in the world, some things that you can't. What are you going to do about them?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I just decided my experiences then was this is not the society that I believe is the best way forward. I want to be a part of changing that. More equality, more freedom, more opportunity.
Yeah, awesome.
Opportunity, freedom, and equality.
The people of Bancroft have got to make a decision about who they want representing them.
Yeah.
Why should it be you again?
I think that what I say to people is that you know me, I'm a hard worker, I care. I always work hard for the people that that I represent. But at the same time, I would say to them, make a decision about what is best for your family, what is best for the state. And clearly, I believe that our side have got the runs on the board for that. But as a local representative, you know me, you've seen how hard I work, you know that I care about ordinary working people. Keep me in there, and I will keep delivering. And there's so many different things that I want to see happen around the place, big things and little things, and I won't go through them all here. But it's things like making a new school in the area, creating a new school in this area, Burpengary East, huge expanding area there. We've got a couple of parcels of land already to get school. We need a couple more. Once we can do that, it would make that it will change people's lives. Once again, I can do something or be part of something that changes people's lives.
Growing up with a mother as a politician, I got to learn a little bit about the people that, play politics and they represent people. And I came to learn in my own words or languages that um, representatives represent people. Politicians get re-elected, and very rarely you meet somebody that's good at both of them. They're good at representing the people and they're good at getting re-elected. And you're one of those people. You're
Oh,
good
thank
at
you.
representing the people and you're good at getting re-elected.
I hope that still counts. This is my eighth election. I've won 7. So I hope I can, I've won 6. Yep. So I want to, and this is the 8th. So I want to make sure that I win 7 of 8 instead of 6 of 8.
So with that said, in 8 weeks' time, let's assume you're going to be the member of Bancroft moving forward. What's the future for Chris Whiting?
Wow. That's a good question. After each election, it's a complete reset. What job do you have? I've been the chief government whip. I've been acted as acting speaker. I'm the chair of our caucus, the chair of our committee. It really depends. You can't go in expecting I will be this or I will be that. You just don't know. It's a cliche, but it's true. You have to have in your mind, I'm ready to serve in what position that you want. And that's the only way that you can avoid disappointment. Uh, there is a job for everyone. We each have different jobs. I have it in my mind that I'll be ready to serve as requested. And because I've seen so many times people expecting or wanting certain things, they don't get them, become, it's very challenging for them. And I probably have been, in politics, you get disappointed. I don't want to put myself in a position where I have an expectation and I'm disappointed. Anything they want me, any job I can serve in, I will be happy to do that. And I'll do that gladly. And that's the way you've got to look forward to it.
Well, in 8 weeks' time, I wish you the best of luck and I thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.